My whole goal throughout my whole athletic career has always been to be the best I physically can. That goal never changed even after the accident. In 2020, I was hit by a car on my motorcycle which severed and crushed my left foot. Doctors told me that I had two options. Option one was I could have a prosthetic foot, but it would come with physical limitations. Option two was I could opt to have a little bit more cut off my leg, which would open up a wider range of prosthetics. Although the accident had changed me physically, if anything, it made me stronger. I'm never 100% satisfied with where I'm at. I'm always pushing to be 1% better every single day.
All right, podcast number 29, I've got Rogan Dean. How you going, bro?
Good, boys. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, bro. So CrossFit, that's your bread and butter, bro. It's what you've been running for the past 2-3 years now?
Yeah, about last 2.5 years.
Yep.
Yeah, nearly 3 years.
Yeah, sweet. So how'd you get into that?
I got into it not long after I had my motorbike accident and unable to play footy anymore. I was looking for another sport to compete in, and my partner at the time, Cody, she was doing CrossFit as part of her sort of off-season training and stuff like that, and she's like, you should give it a go, you'd be pretty good at it. And it's just started from there.
And just from there, then went to his first session, just fell in love with it just instantly, or?
Yeah, I got hooked pretty quickly because I've always had a passion for the sort of health and fitness and training and stuff. So I came into it with a pretty good background of strength and fitness, so it gave me a good sort of starting point. And yeah, I fell in love with the sport pretty quick.
Yep. So from there, you've done first few sessions. At what stage did you decide you wanted to compete in sport? That my first year doing it was the first year the CrossFit Games started an adapted division. Okay. And so I thought I might have a crack at getting there. I think they only take the top 5 in the world for my division to the Games though. So that first year, the beginning of the qualifiers to get there was literally like my very first CrossFit session. Cody's like, you should just give it a go. And my first few sessions were doing the CrossFit Open. I finished 12th in the world, I think, for that year. And I thought, but I was terrible. I was doing strict muscle ups and didn't know what the fuck I was doing for half the shit. But I thought if I could go away with another 12 months of training and actually fully get the hang of it, then see where we can go from there. And that's what I ended up doing the following year. I made the Games in 2022 for the first year. That's sort of where it all started. Yep.
Yeah. So obviously CrossFit training would be a lot more intense than footy training. How did you find a transition from that type of training to CrossFit?
A lot of it is very similar. Obviously having a lot of the strength and conditioning stuff is very similar. It's all cardio, lifting weight. It's just there's a lot more technique stuff involved in CrossFit. It's especially for me starting, I had a lot of, like I said, I had a good base of strength and fitness, but I had shithouse mobility. I didn't know any of the gymnastic techniques or anything like that, which makes it 10 times harder. So that was what I did for that next 12 months was I literally just focused. I didn't focus too much on trying to get stronger or fitter because I already had that, but it was just trying to learn everything, getting more efficient at all the movements. I could knock out 10 strict muscle ups, but when you got a workout that's got 40 or 50 of them in, when you don't know how to kip and don't know how to do them properly, you wear yourself out quite quickly.
Yep. So when it comes down to CrossFit, bro, is it obviously strength's a massive component of the sport, but is technique also a massive?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So I guess in that 12-month period, you've just been knuckling down your technique, like you said, your muscle ups and.
Yeah, I was just picking, I'd just pick one movement. I started with just doing a kipping pull up, learning how to kip it. So you save energy. And then I went on to butterfly kipping and then into chest to bars and the muscle ups. So I just picked one movement at a time until I'd master it and then move on to the next one. And
that's awesome.
And then still, even now, still trying to do it, make them sort of better.
Yeah. So from there, you've gone to your second Games?
Yeah, I just got back from Madison this year for my second Games.
Yeah, okay. Is that in America or?
Yeah, over in Wisconsin.
Yep. So, and you took out you got the title, you got the world championship.
Yeah, I won it this.
That, bro. It's unreal.
I won it this year, which is a lot better than second the year before.
It must be crazy, that feeling
Because like imagine from your crash, like you must have been in a low point there. And do you find or?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like things have changed a hell of a lot over the last.
For sure.
I think it's been 3 years since my accident, and things have changed a hell of a lot since then.
Yep. And I guess CrossFit was that kind of that light. You've gone down that path, and now you've got this ambition and hard work ethic, and now taking up the world title, bro. Like it must be such a surreal feeling. Like
it definitely. Like you said, it's an unreal feeling. But it was just. I think everything just laid out perfectly for me to make that transition. Sort of looking for something to still be able to compete in and be able to challenge myself, and CrossFit just gave me everything I was looking for. Sort of moving on from that. So, and then winning, that's just the cherry on top. But like the whole process itself has been unreal.
Yeah, for sure. So in that category, is there, like you said, I think you said the top 5, was it, that can only compete at the world titles there?
Yeah. So they'll start with the like what they call the CrossFit Open, which is the beginning of qualifying for it, and that's open to like worldwide. And then you go through all the qualifiers until they narrow it down to the top 5 in the world, and then they'll take them to the games. And then that's those top 5 will compete to see who the fittest is.
Oh, true. So it's just 5 of you just going battling it out. Yeah, far out. That's full on. Is the category getting a lot more competitors in the, like for your...
When you get to the like the CrossFit Games, it's definitely a lot more competitive there. Like the beginning, it's sort of, I think the sport is still growing. So in the beginning, like of the open stages and that, there is a big gap between your top competitors and the rest of the field. But when you narrow it down to that top 5, even top 10, even, it gets quite competitive.
I guess so you find that in every sport, like it's really only the top athletes that got the sponsorships and getting paid the money to be able to do it full time. Yeah. For you though, you're still doing your part-time work on the side.
Yeah, I still work full time as well.
Yep. As well as how are you finding that between training?
It's challenging at times to fit it all in. And then even now being a new dad as well, I got the baby at home, which takes up a lot of time. So it's a bit of a juggling act, but like this year before I competed at the games, I went to America a month earlier, and I based myself in Vermont training with the HWPO crew, and so I just did that for a month to sort of adapt to like get over your jet lag, get some training in, sort of get in the best position I could be this time going into competition. And that whole month of just being a full-time athlete and all you do is focus on training. So you wake up, have your breakfast, you train, you go back home, you have your lunch, have a bit of a nap, go back to the gym in the hour, you train again. And when you're in that sort of atmosphere and that regime, like it's unreal to be a full-time athlete. But unfortunately for me, I'm still working full-time as well. So like ideally I'd like to do it full-time, but it doesn't quite pay that yet.
Yeah, for sure. And along the way, you've joined the LSKD team.
I jumped on board with them just before I went over to America for the first CrossFit Games.
Yep.
And they've been unreal to sort of team to be part of.
Yep. And you also you're underneath the New Zealand flag there.
Yeah.
Kiwis, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a Kiwi at heart. I think I've been in Australia for like 25, 26 years or something, but I'll still classify as a Kiwi. I'm still a New Zealand citizen. It's where I was born.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how old are you now, bro?
31.
31, yeah. So whereabouts in New Zealand are you from?
Rotorua originally, yeah.
Is that South or North Island?
North Island.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. That's awesome. Do you have much family back in New Zealand?
All of my like immediate family are all here in Australia, but all my vast majority of my family is all still back in New Zealand, like all extended family.
Yep.
Did you start playing football back at New Zealand?
No, I moved to Australia young. So I was in Australia when I started school and everything. And then started playing footy. I think I was 7 years old.
Yep.
I think sort of because I grew up in Grasstree Beach, just like a little country town just outside of Serena and Mackay, sort of North Queensland.
Oh, true.
So I started playing footy for the Serena Crocs and that. Yeah.
You would have had probably a few big names in the sport now, because I know there's a few boys, I think they're on the Maroon side not long ago from Serena Crocs.
Yeah. There's young Ruben Cotter. He's played the last few years.
That's it,
He's a bit younger than me, but he come through the Serena Croc system as well. I think Cherry Evans, he started at Serena.
Yep.
there's a few of them in there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, sweet.
That's pretty awesome. And when about did you move down to Brizzy here?
So I finished school in Mackay, and then I moved from school straight to Townsville, and I spent a few years with the Cowboys under 20s playing footy there. And when I finished up with the under 20s, that's when I moved to Brisbane. So it would have been to maybe 2013 or 14, I think I moved to Brisbane.
Yep. How have you liked it living here?
I love Brisbane,
Yeah, we hear a lot of mixed opinions about people moving from like small sort of country towns to Brisbane. Like, a few people say it's better for like knuckling down and doing what you love, but other people saying like they like a bit of a chill area, like country town side. But
I moved here for footy, so that was what originally brought me here. And then now that I'm not, like a while ago, I thought now that I'm not playing footy, there's no need for me to be in Brisbane. But this is just where I like being here now. Footy aside, I just like being in Brisbane.
Yeah, cool.
So like you were saying, you were playing for under 20 Cowboys. You moved to Brizzy to continue footy. Did you start playing Q Cup or did you join the Broncos side?
No, I went into the Queensland Cup then. So first year I signed with Wynnum Manly and I played a year of Queensland Cup there.
Yep.
And then I went to North Devils the year after that, and I spent 4 years there playing Queensland Cup. And then I took 2 years off footy and didn't play anything at all. And then I came back and signed with Ipswich Jets, where I played another season of Queensland Cup there. And then that sort of led into 2020 when all the COVID bullshit happened and all the footy got cancelled. And then, a couple months after that was when I had the motorbike accident.
Yep. So I guess with the footy there, did you ever have a passion to try and make the NRL? Was that ever in your
that was always the goal. Like ever since I was a kid, started playing footy, like that was always the goal to sort of get there. And I'd say I sort of playing in the under 20s, it gave me like a bit of a taste of that, like being a full-time rugby league player. You're in that professional system, and and then when I didn't get a contract at the end of 20s, that's why I moved to Brisbane and started playing the Queensland Cup, because like the goal was still to play NRL. But I think I had a few years there I just wasn't really playing my best footy. I was sort of got to a stage where I wasn't really enjoying my footy, and I sort of struggled through a couple of years of sort of playing because I felt I had to, not because I wanted to. And that's what led to me taking those 2 years off. And that was the best thing I could have done in terms of like for my footy career, because when I did come back to Ipswich after a couple of years off, I had that love for the sport again, and I probably played one of my best sort of like seasons like in the Queensland Cup, and was starting to get a bit of NRL interest again from there, but it wasn't to be sort of with everything else that come after it.
Yeah, for sure. But everything happens for a reason, bro. And like for sure, where you at now, like unreal, man.
Yeah.
Like, not many people can say they're a world champion, bro. So it's pretty unreal. And when you're obviously playing your footy, is that when you also got into the gym scene?
Because I was always growing up, I was always a scrawny little kid, and like that was one thing. As a kid coming up through like rep systems, and even when I was at the Cowboys and stuff, one thing I was always told is you need to put some weight on, like you need to get a bit, because I was. So that was from there. That's when I started getting like right into my gym work. To put a bit of weight on, and I think at one stage I got a bit too heavy. I think for me, I think it was my second or third year at North, so I think I was up to about 102, 103 kilos, and I was starting that because my best aspect was always my speed in footy, and when I started getting that heavy, I was starting to lose a bit of speed and a bit of fitness, and I thought this is just carrying too much weight,
too much chicken and rice. For sure. And bloody, like how many, I guess, what names have you played with in the footy scene there that've made the NRL?
Oh shit, I think nearly half of our 20s squad at the Cowboys are all playing NRL, like Jason Tamalolo, Michael Morgan, Kyle Fell, like all those boys we all played at the 20s with. You could rattle off heaps of them throughout all the years I've played.
Yep. Yeah, that's bloody awesome. And for work, bro, what did you say you did for work again?
I'm an engineering maintenance planner.
Yep. So with that, do you have to go to university for that? Or
no, so I originally, because I'm a fitter and turner by trade.
Oh, true, yeah.
That's what I sort of started in. And then the place I'm working now, I've worked there for probably 5 years as a fitter and turner. And then started to transition into like coordinating roles and supervising roles until I eventually took this role now. I just sort of just did a bit of post-trade training and different competencies and stuff to now be sitting behind a desk doing boring shit.
Would you much rather be on the tools, or is it better being behind the desk? What do you reckon?
I'm not like it's probably beneficial for me in the long run being behind the desk, but it's just because like if I look around at all the old guys in my job, like 50, 60 years old, still on the tools, they fucking hate it. And I'm like, I don't want to, I never wanted to be that age still doing that work. But so in the long run, this is probably a better role. But if I get bored sitting behind a desk, it's tough. I'll come home from like more tired from sitting behind a computer all day than I would be from a day on the tools, just because it's
100%. I get that from bloody like having to spot the EWP at work, just bloody nodding off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm meant to be sitting down all day.
Oh, and even the days just drag out, eh?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like being behind the desk, you probably got that much paperwork coming through that the days do go quick, or?
It depends. Like some days go quick, some days sort of drag on a bit. But yeah, like I said, I just don't think my personality is not meant to be sitting down behind a desk all day. I like being up and about,
being
doing
active.
shit.
Yeah. But I guess in a way, like doing CrossFit, bro, like I guess being able to sit behind the desk all day, you have that energy for when you go to the train.
Yeah, it definitely. That's what I mean. Like where I was touching, it's better off in the long run. It's sort of you can focus more of your energy into that sort of stuff now, and not having to come to work and slog your ass all day and then go to training. You can use that work sort of period as your recovery time.
Yep.
So from the position you're currently in right now, what does it take to be able to do this full time and not have to work? Or
it would be probably just picking up like in CrossFit, a lot of your full time athletes just pick up big sponsorships. Yep. That's what gets them through. But for the adaptive division, like I've got a few sponsorships and stuff which have been unreal the last couple of years. But it's, for me personally, it's not giving me enough money to be able to live off.
Yeah.
For the stuff I want to do in life and things I still want to achieve, I need to be working full time to bring in more money.
Yeah, especially now raising a kid. That would keep your hands full.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody oath. Is there any other like CrossFit athletes in Brisbane getting around, competing on the world on the world stage?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I think I just spent the month in Vermont with Jake Douglas. He's in Tamworth. I think the next biggest or the best sort of male in Australia would be Ricky Garrard. He's down in Wollongong.
Yeah, okay.
And then Bailey Martin, he's another Kiwi, but he's based in Brisbane now. He just made the games as well. So there's a few sort of around the area. Brisbane's sort of like none of the top males other than Bailey Martin are based in Brisbane.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And with your CrossFit, do you just have the World Championships once a year, or do they have other small events kind of throughout the year, like little series?
There's a shitload of other like CrossFit, like there's like CrossFit events all throughout the year. But like the pinnacle of it is the CrossFit Games. That's where like the fittest in the world all come to, like that's the pinnacle of it. There's a lot of other sort of bigger comps as well, like the Rogan Invitational's coming up. There's like Wadapalooza in Miami. There's like other big off-season comps that all like your best athletes in the world all go to. But like in terms of the pinnacle of it, it's the CrossFit Games.
Yep. Rogue's like one of the biggest brands in the sport, isn't it?
Yeah. They're one of the biggest sort of name. Like I think they're them and Noble, like probably the two biggest sponsors for the CrossFit Games themselves.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I want to touch on, bro, like obviously like losing like your limb down there. How do you find that when you compete, like only being able to compete with one leg? How do you go about that? Like, do you train more on your left side to get more strength for when you do your lifts and that, or how do you work around that?
I know a lot of my training is focusing still transferring the same weight evenly through both legs.
Okay.
Like I'm lucky in a way that when I lost my leg, it was below the knee, so I still have full like use of my knee and stuff like that. So the only limitation I have is just in ankle mobility now. So, but I'm still able to do sort of every movement there is. It's just comes with a little bit, like you make a few little adaptations where like I might have to, like for instance, if I'm doing squatting, I take a little bit of a wider stance now than I usually would to allow sort of room for your knee to be able to reach like sort of full extension through the back of the prosthetic. Like there's little things you change everywhere, but like I'm still able to do everything.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Like you're still running and everything, eh? That's pretty unreal.
Yeah, like it's still able to do pretty much everything.
Yep. Get the bit, put a spring in bloody the running shoe there, get a bit more out of each stride. For sure, bro. Bloody, have you done much travel at all? Or?
I've been I think that's my 4th trip to America now.
Yeah, okay.
And I've been to Europe when I was in school to do a bit of like a footy tour and stuff, but
true.
Nowhere near as much as I want to. Yeah.
Was that for league too, or was that for union?
Yeah, that
or
was
something?
for league. I played league my whole childhood and career, and there wasn't where I grew up in Mackay. There was not much of a union comp, so it was always rugby league was the preferred sport.
Yep, it's kind of the diehard sport up there, eh?
Yeah,
for sure. And I've also seen like going to America, like I said, been 4 times. You even watched Khabib and Conor McGregor there.
Yeah,
that's unreal, eh?
I've been to my first time I went to America. Me and a mate of mine just went and did like a sort of 5-6 week sort of tour around America, and we're just looking at like all of the sporting events we could cram in all into one trip. And we went to GSP versus Bisping UFC card in New York.
True.
And then when we were there, we ran the New York Marathon, and then like went to some NFL games, NBA. Like we just crammed in sort of everything we could. And then I think it was a year later, we were going to back to America. We were going to Vegas for a mate's Bucks party, and like everything panned out perfect. Where there was the Conor McGregor Khabib fight on in Vegas, so we did the same thing again, just booked everything around. And it was an unreal week.
That's unreal. Awesome, bro, that's probably one of the biggest fights ever, in UFC history.
It was fucking epic,
Whereabouts, what's it like in the UFC arena?
It's pretty cool, man. Like the atmosphere is unreal, especially for like a fight of that magnitude as well. Like the amount of Irish people there and all the Russians, and like they got all their chants and they're singing, and then at the end of it, how like everything erupted and there was fights everywhere, and all the crowd was erupting. There was fights in the crowd, out in the street there was fights. It was just
that would have been just packed to the brim. Hey,
yeah.
Oh, that would have been absolutely nuts. Even trying to get out was such a drama.
Yeah. Even because we were there for the week, and we were even a couple of days after the event, like we were going to pool parties and stuff, and there's still like just these massive Irish crowds still they're still on the piss in the pool singing and it was pretty awesome.
It's crazy the effect that Conor McGregor's had on Ireland, eh?
Yeah.
Like it's just like you see even like the weigh-ins and stuff, eh? And like you said, doing all the chants and the singing, like it's just another level, eh, of what he brings to the table. So Do you rate America at all, or
I love going
as
there.
In like in terms of would you like live there? You reckon, or
I reckon I could live there.
Yeah,
they definitely like in terms of the way they do sports, it's unreal. Like all the sporting events over there are just crazy. They're on another level. Yeah,
you got everything though. It's like NBA, NFL, ice hockey. Like you can just keep going. Baseball, it's just endless sports. I
went to an ice hockey game when I was in Washington, and I've never like really followed ice hockey before, but like I was like, I'm going anyway just for the experience. And that was one of the best sports I'd seen like live. It was unreal. Like the atmosphere they have there is crazy.
Ice hockey is so cool. I want to watch one of those games. They're gonna be cool as.
It's just crazy how like they just have fights on the rink and the refs bloody almost like rip the fight. Like it's off tap, eh? For sure. And like you said, you did Europe and you've just done America and Europe, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you look at wanting to travel anywhere else, or?
When I went to Europe, I was only, I think I was like 15, I think. So, and that was for like a footy tour. So I'd love to go do a couple of months in Europe and really do like a proper holiday.
That's the skid thing about Europe, bro. Is like you can even just pull up in London there, and getting over there is real expensive. But once you're there, like travel is just so cheap, bro.
You can hit so many different places, like because like, the proximity of everything's just unreal. So.
For sure, one day I just do everything from like Greece to Italy and all that jazz. Be bloody off tap there. I guess we'll kick into the future manifestations, bro. So with that, bro, the next 5-10 years, it can, or not even that, it can be whenever, bro. Like in terms of CrossFit and having a family now, where do you see yourself you're aiming for in the future?
I think I'd probably have at least another 1 or 2 years sort of competing at an elite level. And then I think from there, I'll probably I'll continue to train and stuff my entire life. That's just the type of person I am, and I'll always make sure I'm staying sort of fit and healthy. But I think after the next couple of years, my biggest focus will just be my family.
Yeah.
Sort of having the little one now, and that's my top priority now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And you're looking at staying in Brizzy here, you reckon?
Yeah, Cody and I, we want to buy sort of some acreage sort of in the near future, because we're both we're both country kids. We sort of ideally we'd like to have our own space, our own bit of acreage, and sort of be a better sort of atmosphere to raise the kids and stuff into. They can sort of, learn to ride motorbikes, freaking build cubby houses, do whatever shit, sort of anything you want to do on your own big block of land that you can't do in the city. So that's in the near future. That's what we're trying to do. We want to stay within a sort of close proximity of Brisbane, but sort of out and a little bit out where we can have our own space.
Yep. That'd be good. Yeah. Any plans of making a CrossFit gym out there?
Well, we've got a full gym set up at home. That's where I do all my training. That's probably another reason why if I'd get a decent bit of acreage, I can put up a nice big shed and have the gym out a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, bro.
That'd be awesome.
The turnaround you had, bro, from since your bike accident to turn around, start doing your CrossFit, like you said, your partner got in that direction. The inspiration for heaps of people, it's not over, anything's possible. There's so many routes you can take in a way.
Yeah. No, it definitely could have gone. Yeah, could have gone either way. You can sort of sit around and mope about it and feel sorry for yourself, or you can sort of, like you said, look at it, it's not over. There's plenty more you can still do.
Yeah, of course.
And with that, was the dedication more for yourself that you've also always been an active person, that you wanted to, when you got offered to do the CrossFit, that you just took it on? Or did you have anything, have you always, because doing footy in that, you would have been really driven in competing in that, having that mentality, going to CrossFit, you found it easy to drive and get back into the swing of things? Or
I think for me mentally, sort of from the accident, that was the best thing that I thought I could have done, was to find something that I'm passionate about, that's going to challenge me, that's going to push me, and that'll sort of, for me mentally, that was the best sort of healing thing I could have done, was to sort of prove to myself and everyone else that wasn't the end of me. There's plenty more I'm still capable of doing. Giving myself the goals of making it to the games and winning it and stuff like that kept me motivated, kept me driven. It sort of kept me away from sitting around feeling sorry for myself. Like I said, mentally that was the best thing I could have done.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people just fall short, that they think, it is over, and they just lose hope in themselves. So like I said, bro, people being able to see your story, just give them a bit of a spark that anything's possible.
Oh, cheers.
Put your mind to it. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate giving us time.
Thanks, dedication, discipline is unreal.
Oh, thanks,
It's really inspirational. It's awesome. It's good to have you on.
Oh, thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
All right. Cheers, bro.